Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty B. Thanks for watching. So very recently we learned that with issue 1000 of Action Comics, Superman's red briefs will be reappearing on the outside of his uniform, and fans are overjoyed! Yay! You won't even believe how many people I have already heard saying, finally, I can start buying Superman comics again. And this is going to offend some of you, but that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you're offended, I guess I apologize, but your opinion holds no weight. If that is your sole reason for not buying Superman comics because they changed his uniform or they removed his briefs, not a valid reason. If you read the New 52, or if you read Rebirth, or if you were reading in the 90s and you decided the stories weren't good anymore, and you decided to stop reading, those are valid reasons. If you no longer like Superman, if you no longer like the way the writing is going, if you've outgrown comics, if you can't afford comics, all of that stuff is valid. I don't like the shade of red. I don't like the briefs not being there. I don't like blue boots. All of those reasons, not valid. I realize that comics are a visual medium, and I realize that the look of a comic and the look of art is part of what sells it. So if you don't like how it looks, you might say, well, I don't want to look at this anymore. So I guess that's valid in terms of looking at books that you might or might not want to buy. Like, for instance, you're a new person going into a comic shop and you don't know what to look for. You haven't read reviews, you don't have a hero that you love the movies of, you don't have a favorite, but you like art and you like the idea of the medium, so they draw covers to try to appeal to people. Even fans who do have the normal books that they pick up, they put certain covers out there so that those fans might then pick up a new book. If a cover catches your eye, you might go home with that book, even though you came in to get Batman or whatever. Here's my problem with a lot of Superman fans, and I don't believe you're really a fan of Superman if your reason for not picking up the book is because they changed his red briefs. But it seems to be that Superman doesn't have the ability to change his look at all. Spit curl goes away, Superman fans lose their mind. It's not Superman. They do a short reboot that doesn't last very long where he hasn't yet fallen in love with Lois, which in theory should actually be very exciting because now we get to see the love courtship and the rituals. Most Superman fans nowadays probably weren't even alive the first time they decided to have Superman and Lois be an item. Most of Superman's career, Superman and Lois were at odds with each other. Clark was always mild-mannered, but Lois kind of didn't like him, said mean things about him, did everything she could to outscoop him, even when it was only fair that Clark got the story because he was there. So the idea that only Superman and Lois is acceptable, and if he dates Wonder Woman, I'm not reading anymore, is silly. This is a 80-year history of a guy having adventures. He goes electric blue for a while and fans lose their mind. I loved every type of adventure. I loved seeing him change. I loved seeing him, the storyline where he was growing because his powers were out of control and he was gathering up too much solar radiation. People go, he looks like the Hulk now. I'm not reading anymore. It was a short couple of months. It was an interesting, exciting story. It was scary in the life of Superman, and I was interested to see how it was going to go. But Superman fans are very touchy. Batman changes his look every third page of every book, changes the gadgets he used, changes the names of people that are his friends, changes his costume, changes his colors. Sometimes he's blue and gray, sometimes he's all blue. Sometimes he's purplish, sometimes he's black. Sometimes he has armor, sometimes he does not. No one cares. Do anything different to Superman and everyone loses their mind. Anyway, I guess this is good news. My primary concern is that Superman takes his rightful place as the leader of the DC universe and it becomes popular again. He isn't popular. He hasn't been for a long time. DC, as a business strategy, is trying whatever they can. They're throwing things at the wall and hoping that they stick. It's very difficult with old-time Superman fans. They don't like when you change little things, like having briefs or not having briefs. I don't envy the comics business. The situation they're in right now. I don't envy Superman creators and DC for trying to keep Superman around at the moment because they're having a very difficult time and they don't know exactly what to do. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, always look below the belt. My arm hurts.